It looks like they're gonna do Wiley first. Somebody, y'all, you and Powell swap out. What's that about? Yeah, you can just pull that chair up here.
Good morning, Mr. Powell. My name is Pete Freeman. I'll be acting chair today, along with me, fellow board members, Mr. Steve Prater and Ms. Cheryl Renatza. Would staff at headquarters introduce yourself, please?
Yes, Tom.
Okay. Is there any staff there with you at Ouachita?
Yes, sir. Deputy Marchand, good morning to you.
Thank you, Deputy Marchand. Deputy, you have anything to say about the offender? Has he given y'all any problems since he's been there?
Let's see. It looks like just one incident when he was in our kitchen, and that was, when was that? About a week ago. About a week ago. But it does.
What happened? What was it?
I think he got into an argument with another trustee worker and used one of the like large boat paddle mixing spoons to strike the other offender. No injuries though.
Okay. All right. So a little inmate fight. Okay. All right. So today we're going to start off at Ouachita. Time is 9:03. Our first hearing is Wiley Powell. Mr. Powell, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read your violations. You're to plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement. That's your four choices, okay? At first, you just plead. I'm going to read the violations. You plead. Your case has been assigned with me, and then I will ask some questions, and then we'll vote. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we have Wiley Powell. Mr. Powell, introduce yourself and your DOC number.
Wiley Powell III, 471-662.
Okay. Mr. Powell, it's alleged that you failed to report to your probation and parole officer since November 23rd. Your whereabouts were unknown and a warrant had to be obtained. How do you plead to that charge?
That's out. Can you repeat it?
They said you failed to report to probation and parole since November
Who would they be?
2003. Your whereabouts were unknown and a warrant had to be obtained. How do you plead to that charge?
Who would they be?
That's the probation and parole officer. Did you report to your probation and parole officer?
In November?
Yes, since November. Have you been to the probation office?
No, I haven't been to the probation office since November.
Okay. All right. So how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty?
I plead not guilty.
Okay. You also charged with violating condition number three. You failed to provide a valid address to probation and parole, and you failed to report to probation and parole since November 2023, and a warrant had to be obtained.
Sir, you cut out.
How do you plead?
I plead not guilty.
Okay. Here's the big one. You were engaged in criminal activity. This is evident by your arrest on 4/29/24 by the Monroe Police Department for the offense of simple battery, battery of a police officer, simple criminal damage to property, and resisting an officer. On May 14, 2024, you were found guilty for all charges and were sentenced to time served. How do you plead to that charge?
It's guilty.
All right, and then number 10, you were $378 in arrears on your supervision fees. How do you plead to that charge?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Powell, let me ask you this. What happened on 4/29/24? What was all that about? Huh? Oh, do you have your questionnaire with you?
Yes, sir. I mean, I guess this would be.
She's gonna put it up. Just tell me if that's your signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that says that you were not eligible for appointed counsel and you did not retain counsel, correct?
Yes, sir. I suppose so.
Okay, and you want to proceed with the hearing without counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry I skipped over that part. But now tell me about this incident with Monroe Police Department.
Well, honestly, not to just be, I'm just gonna explain this how the best I know it. I lived in Webster Parish, and I was married to a woman in Webster Parish who faked my divorce, and her and a warden by the name of Jerry Goodwin and the district attorney of Webster Parish, they have been setting me up over parishes throughout Louisiana since 2015. And this arrest was a setup by this warden, Jerry Goodwin. And, it's ridiculous that they're saying that, I did this and I did that, but, they set me up with, Webster Parish, the parole that they say I'm on, they sent some guys to my door who would pronounce themselves as MPD, and they jumped on me with a signed confession as they had a police brutality case on me, and all they're doing is they're keeping me in jail while they're trying to sue these people under the table. Probation and parole arrested me illegally in 2016. On some drug charges. They took me to jail, and they took me to jail. They gave me 15 days credit for time served. I ended up doing 11 and a half months, and it's just, it's just all of these people that are in power. They're doing things because, they're trying to, it's just conniving,
Did you go to trial on those charges?
No, I've never went to trial on any of them.
So you pled guilty to all of them? Why would you plead guilty?
I mean, because okay, I'm a young black male,
Fair.
and I'm dealing with a lot of people in power. Who do I have to go to actually fight against these people? And they're the ones that setting it up. I mean, how can you win? You have these wardens over these prisons, you have the police they're using, you have the district attorney, you have the public defender, and you have the judge, and they're all working together. How can you defeat that? Who do you go to actually go against these individuals?
Okay, I have no further questions. Either one of my colleagues have a question?
They're not.
Ms. Renatza? Okay, no question. Okay, is the panel ready to vote?
Yeah.
Ms. Renatza, you ready to vote?
Yes, yes.
All right, Mr. Powell, bottom line is you were found guilty of all of those charges, or you pled to all of those charges. I don't know about this conspiracy theory, But the bottom line is, you can't plead to something you didn't do because it did violate your parole. My vote today is to revoke.
I understand. It won't stand though. I mean, you can revoke it.
Okay. Ms. Renatza?
Yes, I agree. I didn't understand anything that he was saying before and how it related to what we're here for today. I am looking where he, withdrew his not guilty plea in court. I think it was May 14th of this year, and he entered a plea of guilty. So he violated the conditions of his parole. My vote today is to revoke.
Okay, and Mr. Pray.
Yes, my vote is to revoke and possibly see if our good friends there at Washita would run him through the mental evaluation process once again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, your parole's been revoked, Mr. Powell. I think you understand what happened, but your parole's revoked. Good luck to you with the endeavors.
Thank you. You all be blessed.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Okay. 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 Okay, good morning, Mr. Langford. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair today. Along with me is Mr. Steve Prater and Ms. Cheryl Renatza. Mr. Langford, would you give me your name and DLC number, please?
Dekeldrick Langford, 721-821.
Okay. And did parole officer give you a parole questionnaire?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have that with you? Okay, we're gonna put it up on the screen and you just tell me if that's your signature. That's your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so it said you were not eligible for appointed counsel. Do you wish to retain counsel or you wish to proceed?
I wish to proceed.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the violations. Right now, you plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement, okay? And then after we read all of the violations, I think your case has been assigned to Ms. Renatza. She will take the lead on the investigation, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number one, you have not reported to the Monroe District Office of Probation and Parole since 9/5/2023. How do you plead to that charge?
Be guilty.
Okay. All right. On 2/20/24, you were arrested by the Ouachita Parish Sheriff's Office for battery of a dating partner pregnant. This occurred while you were on bond from an arrest by the Ouachita Parish Sheriff's Office for possession with intent to distribute CDS Schedule II, possession of drug paraphernalia, and simple criminal damage to property on 11/2/23, and on 3/18/24, you were billed with batting of a dating partner, simple battery, and simple assault. On 5/23/24, you pled guilty to criminal mischief. All other charges were null pros. How do you plead to that charge?
I'm trying to. How you say I can plead to it? Because I'm trying to. I really want to. I know I pled guilty to the criminal mischief.
Okay, but do you want to make a statement with regards to this charge?
I guess so. Yes, sir. I'm really trying to understand. Like, due to me getting all the charges dismissed and me pleading guilty to that.
Okay, well, we'll tell you about that. Let me just get your pleas down and we'll tell you all about that, okay?
All right, yeah, I plead guilty to the criminal mischief.
All right. And you're currently $660 in arrears on your supervision fee payment. Your last payment was on 8/5/23 for $96. How do you plead to that charge?
It should be not guilty because I should have made a payment to that.
Okay, Ms. Renatza.
Good morning, Mr. Langford. So you wanted to, well, first let's start at the beginning. You pled guilty to failing to report since September of 23. You were released, what, in April of 23? Why didn't you report to the parole office?
I really just had a lot of things going in my life. I just kind of got off track. I was just trying to get back right. I admit I violated my conditions. I failed at reporting to it.
Yeah. But you know, what's confusing to me is you're classified as a third offender. You've obviously been on supervision before. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So so you pled guilty to that one. So let's talk about the criminal mischief and the battery of a dating partner. Tell us what happened to the battery during the Miss Minifield.
It was nothing that really happened. It was nothing like there was no type of altercation. It was just it was a mom and us. So they really just came over there. They really didn't like me and called the people on me, and that was it. Like I did nothing to her, never harmed her, none of that. We just
She
had.
says you hit her in the face.
Nah, I didn't do anything like that because I read in the report. I saw the report. They say I had all type of knives and hammers and stuff, and that wasn't even it. Like if anybody should have been getting arrested, it should have been her. It should have been her and her family members that should have been arrested. The ones that came over there and was trying to harm me.
Well, tell us what happened.
Well, like I say, like she just called them over there. She was just wanting me to get out the house, and I was trying. All I was trying to do was get all my stuff until I was just telling her, just let me get my stuff and take me home. She was calling her moms to come get me, but in the midst of that, like I say, all her sisters and stuff, her two sisters come running up on me, grabbing hammers and knives against me. So I'm just like, man, I'm just like, I'm trying to get out the house, but they blocking me in the house. I got my bags in my hand. I'm trying to go. They telling me they gonna do me this, they gonna do this to me and stuff. So I'm just like, man, just let me out, just let me go. Eventually I got out the house, and then all of a sudden, I ain't hear nothing else about it. But later on in life, all I know, I got a warrant for a battery charge. Like I ain't touch her or anything. Like I did not touch Azanika Minifield.
Well, let's talk about, you were on bond at the time for what?
I said cocaine possession.
So in simple criminal damage.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And what happened with that?
Like, what do you mean by that?
Tell us about that incident.
Which one? Like, I don't understand. Like, I just got pulled over. I just got pulled over, and I had a little drug problem going on. That was it. Like in the criminal damage. It was nothing really. It was nothing really.
Well, I mean, what was it?
It was just a little bleach on the clothes. That was it.
Whose clothes?
Azanika Minifield.
So that involved her as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And tell us why you were behind on your fees.
I really had lost my job. So that was the case of that. And then I was trying to take care of my home. I was still helping out with the house and still trying to take care of my kids. So that was all that was.
All right. Well, given why, you've been on supervision before, you're a third felony offender, you pled guilty in court to criminal mischief, which is a violation of condition number 4, any criminal activity. Tell us why you think we shouldn't revoke you.
I mean, I feel like I'm a good man. I got kids I have to raise. Like I could get out. I could do classes. Got a job waiting on me. My brother's a shift lead at the graphic packaging. Like it wouldn't be nothing for me to go report. Like I got my mind right, honestly. Like I done got back on track. Like I ain't got no drug habit or anything. I constantly get drug tested if I have to. Father, just please reinstate me. Let me get back out to my family and raise my kids. That'll be thankful. I'll be real thankful for that.
So when were you, how long you been in jail?
I've been in jail 5 months.
And when do you get off paper?
November 13th, 2025.
All right. Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Prater, you have any questions?
Questions?
I have no questions either. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, you'll go first.
Yes, Mr. Langford, I hear what you're saying, but I do find you admitted to violating condition number 2. You pled guilty in court to criminal activity, which is a violation of condition number 4. My vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. I think you're a really good candidate for work release, though. I would like to make that recommendation to help you do something to get on your feet before you get out of jail. Good luck to you, sir.
Right?
Yes, I vote to revoke. Same reasons.
Yes, I also concur with my colleagues. I vote to revoke, find you in violation of conditions number 2, 4, and 10. Good luck to you, sir. We're gonna make that recommendation that you go to work release, so maybe we can put a little money in your pocket before you get back out there and see what happens. So we'll be closing out at Ouachita at 9:30.
Excuse me.
There we go. You good? Mr. Scott, your microphone's off.
Okay, got it.
There you go.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. I think they're waiting on the parole board.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Scott, we're here today for your revocation hearing. My name is Pete Freeman. I will be the acting chair. Along with me is Ms. Cheryl Renatza and Mr. Steve Prater. Would staff at Livingston please introduce yourself?
My name is Sergeant Jennifer Gomez of Classifications.
Okay, Ms. Gomez, do you have anything you would like to say about Mr. Scott? Any problems, any comments?
Actually, Mr. Scott hasn't had any major Schedule B incidences at our facility since his incarceration. And I really haven't had any problems out of him while he's here.
Okay. All right. Mr. Scott, did your parole officer serve you with a parole questionnaire about whether you were eligible for an attorney or not?
Yes, sir, but I don't think I have it here.
Okay, we're gonna put it up on the screen and just tell me if that's your signature. I see you have hired your own attorney,
Yes.
Yes,
correct?
that's it.
Okay, Mr. Nettles, do you wish to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Scott Nettles on behalf of Antrea Scott.
Okay, Mr. Nettles, I'm gonna read through the violations. I'm gonna ask your client to plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, not guilty with a statement. If he wants to refer to you, he can call, he can, discuss things with you. You are his lawyer on how he wants to plead. Then we're gonna let Mr. Scott explain the situation. His case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. And then we'll let you close it out and we will vote.
All right,
Okay?
thank you.
All right, Mr. Scott, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Scott, on 11/12/2023, you were arrested by the Denham Springs Police Department for aggravated flight from an officer and resisting an officer. You also had an outstanding warrant for domestic abuse battery. You were charged with aggravated flight from an officer and resisting an officer. On 3/12/24, you pled to misdemeanor flight from an officer. You were charged with domestic abuse battery, child endangerment. On 3/12/24, you pled guilty to the amended charge of misdemeanor domestic abuse battery. You then withdrew that plea on 4/17/24 and entered another plea of disturbing the peace. How do you plead to those charges?
Guilty.
Okay, guilty with a statement,
Guilty.
Yeah, I think he'd like to, make a statement too.
okay, all right. That's the only charge against you, Mr. Prater.
Okay, yes, sir. Let me ask you a couple of questions. The way I understand it, you were charged with this domestic abuse battery against this lady. Is that the only time you've ever been charged with domestic abuse battery against her?
No, sir.
Okay, were you found guilty on the first time?
No, sir.
What did you plead to something, or did they drop it?
They dismissed it.
Dismissed it the first time. Then this time you pled guilty. You were accused of throwing a bottle and hitting her in the head with a bottle that you threw. Can you tell me about that?
I never threw a bottle and I never hit her. We was drinking because her sister had got her kids taken from DCF earlier that day. So she asked me to be the designated driver for them while they drank and, let loose or whatever. And her and her sister got into it and they was arguing. So when her sister jumped out the Jeep to get away, she jumped out behind her and was and I jumped out to stop her, but then she jumped on my case like I was taking up for her sister. So she was like, get out the Jeep and whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I left my phone. So she pulled off with her sister, her pulled off. I left my phone. So I started walking on the street. She came back and tried to pick me back up. When she tried to pick me back up, she jumped out the Jeep and come around to the passenger side, tried to make me get in the Jeep, And I'm like, no, I'm not getting in the Jeep. I gotta go to work in the morning. Alexis. I was like, you drunk? I'm like, you're drunk. So she like, get in the Jeep. So I got in the Jeep, but when she go to walk back to the driver's side, I grab my phone and I jump out. And when I grab my phone and jump out, I take off running. When I take out running, she tried to chase me, but then she tried to go run back to the Jeep. But at this time, I didn't cut through an alleyway and ran and got away. So I never put my hands on her.
I think there was a witness to it though, wasn't there?
Yeah, but no witness. I never put my hands on her.
Okay, what about the injuries to her eye?
I've never seen no injuries. After talking to her 2 weeks later, she never mentioned nothing about no cuts. Never seen no pictures of no cuts. Never seen no facts of no cuts or nothing. No pictures in my discovery package said nothing about no cuts.
Well, according to what the report says, I believe there was.
I understand you got a report, but she never mentioned nothing about no cuts.
Well, regardless of whether she mentioned it, the police officer mentioned it.
Understandable.
And also that there was a witness to it, I believe. You don't remember anything like that?
Attorney, well, let me talk to her.
Well, so I think the district attorney's office, after they interviewed all the officers and witnesses, felt it was appropriate to prosecute him for disturbing the peace. So there may have been some issues with any witness statements related to it.
But we don't have any affidavits of recanting or anything like that from anybody.
We don't have any recanting witness affidavits.
Okay. Let me ask another question. There was something mentioned about a marijuana warrant. Do you know anything about that?
No, I had pled to well, one day my parole officer came and he asked me could I pass the drug test, and I told him no, I would fail for THC, and that was way before this happened. That's
okay.
Yeah. That's
all right. And so then once this incident occurs, supposedly occurs with the bottle and the hitting her in the head and all that, they got a warrant for you. And then tell me about the aggravated flight and resisting arrest.
Well, it got broken down to a simple flight because it wasn't an aggravated flight. They just charged me with that. Like, I don't know, they started high and just went low. I don't know, because I went from, all right, you know where the USS Kids at, where the plane at down there, downtown Baton Rouge, with that little plane. If you go from that plane to that little bridge, that overpass, to downtown to the Riverwalk, that's about how far I drove my car there, stopped, and I ran. Okay.
Yeah, he went a distance of approximately 1 block before he stopped.
Okay, and is that where the resisting comes from too? Or did you actually have any kind of resisting?
I guess running from, they call it resisting. I ran.
Running once you got out of your car?
Yes, sir.
So it wasn't like it took you a while to figure out where to pull over. You actually tried to avoid being arrested, evade the officers, and then once they did stop, you took off running.
I was kind of scared.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look at my. Okay. That's all the questions I got.
Mr. Nazi, you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, how long have you been held on this charge?
8 months.
I have no further questions either. Is the panel ready? Oh, Mr. Nettles, do you have anything else you would like to present on behalf of your client?
Just a very, very short statement. He was initially arrested for serious felonies that would, had he been convicted of those, obviously should lead to him being revoked. But the state, while in the course of prosecuting him, after reviewing the cases, interviewing witnesses, looking at all the facts, amended these down to disturbing the peace, which is not a crime against a person, and a misdemeanor flight. They felt that was the appropriate resolution for these based on the facts and circumstances. So with the outcome of those cases, we'd ask that he not be revoked.
Panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Prater, your case, you go.
Yes, sir, because of and I understand, I appreciate the attorney, Mr. Nettles, saying what he did. But the truth of the matter is, once you're on parole, there's a different standard of your conduct. Whereas if you're not on parole and you do a little something, it's just a little something. But if you're on parole, that shows that you've done something bad in the past, and you got to be extra careful to be following the rules. And I think that this was enough between the disturbing the peace plea, the marijuana that you mentioned, which shows also that you're not interested in following the rules exactly, and then running from the police in your car and then running from them again once you're stopped. That kind of behavior is not acceptable, whether you're on parole or not. And the fact you're on parole shows right now you're not quite ready to, having received a great break when you were originally sentenced, you're not ready to abide by the rules yet. My vote is to revoke.
Michelle?
I do concur with Mr. Prater. My vote also is to revoke. I find Mr. Scott guilty of violating condition number 4.
Excuse me.
And wait, we're voting right now. I concur. I also find him violating condition number. Today your probation has been revoked. You would get a letter in the mail saying when you can reapply.
Excuse me.
A quick question. What you got?
So I'm not eligible for a technical as a technical violator?
No, sir, you're not. Because of the I think it's you had the resisting an officer. I'm not sure, but today this is a revocation hearing and the parole has been revoked. We close out at Livingston at 9:47.
All right, thank you.
No, we've been having kind of listen. That's we can start the roll with y'all hold the ball for the person for a minute. Thank you. Okay, then, it can be called for one. Yeah. No, than that, dry. Well, that's cool too. I ain't got some of the line, you can put that much time. Hey, it's free. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right, Mr. Williams, good morning. Can you hear me, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Morning, okay. My name is Pete Freeman. I will be the acting chair today. Along with me is Ms. Cheryl Renatza and Mr. Steve Prater. Is there anybody in there with you, would they please introduce themselves?
Yes, sir. This is Lieutenant Tatum. I'm over transportation.
Okay,
And Kylie Hendricks, transition specialist.
okay, Lieutenant Tatum, do you have any remarks you wish to make about the inmate?
Yes, sir. He arrived here 9/9/2019. Since he was here, he became a trustee within 3 months, and he had a job that he was holding downtown at the sheriff's office and got promoted to another job here in right down the road in Grayson. He was working for a town of Grayson Water. And he got a promotion on that job also. He has not been in any trouble here at this facility either. He's a
Okay.
very important part of the community here. The people love him, the staff. He's very kind to staff. Staff loves him. He's just been a perfect all-around individual since becoming a trustee and being housed here.
Okay, thank you, Lieutenant Tatum. Okay, I'm gonna read some preliminary information into the record. Mr. Williams, would you give me your name and DOC number?
Darrell Williams, 477-802.
Okay. Mr. Williams, you're here for your parole hearing today. You have a parole date of 5/7/19. You got an adjusted good time date of 12/2/22/24. And you have a full term date of 11/17/25. You're serving a total of 10 years for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and habitual offender, third offense, possession of fentanyl, and third, possession of cocaine. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your case is okay. Why don't you tell me what was going on, why you were doing it, and why should we let you out today?
Well, while I was doing it, it was like a crazy decision that I made. I mean, ain't nobody made me make the decision that I made. I made it myself, and I've been suffering ever since. Well, actually, my eyes been open to a lot of decisions that I made, a lot of things that I did in the past, and I was addicted to heroin. And for years, I was addicted. And since I came to jail, I believe jail has made me a better person, actually. And I want to start off by telling y'all good morning, first of all. I thought I was gonna make my last parole date because I was like real adamant about the things that I was gonna do when I get out. And I'm kind of glad that y'all denied me because I said that I was gonna go back to my mother's address. And that would have been a bad thing for me. Now that I thought about it, when I went back to the dome, I thought I was gonna make it. When y'all denied me, I was wondering like why? Why did y'all deny me? So I had time to think. I had time to think about it. And I was kind of glad that y'all did deny me because if I would have went back to that residence, it might have made it that much harder to get everything done that I needed to be done. So I'm kind of glad, that I had that time to sit back and think about all the decisions that I thought I had made, and all the things that I thought I was gonna do. And I just been working towards bettering myself since I've been here. Like I've been at my job for 3.5 years. I'm work release now. I mean, I transitioned over from trustee to work release, and they want to hire me upon my release because of the job that I do.
Okay. All right. We have no one here. You have no one to speak in your behalf. We have one person in opposition, and that is Mr. Randall Myers from the Jefferson Parish DA's office. Mr. Myers.
Good morning, Randall Myers, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. It sounds like Mr. Williams is on the right track. What the lieutenant said about him means a lot because he sees him and he knows what's going on with Mr. Williams. My only concern with him is the history of drug and weapons offenses and the 2019 positive drug screen he had. And with that, has he gotten the tools, all the tools available that the DLC can give him to make sure he stays off the drugs? He said he was a heroin addict, you know, and is he prepared with the programs that he's taken to be able to stay off? Because he's going to be an addict the rest of his life. So he's got to be able to deal with that to stay clean and to be a productive citizen. So that's my only concern with him. And I guess whatever y'all decide, obviously is going to work. Hopefully, work best for him. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Myers. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. Mr. Prater, you have any questions for the offender?
Yes, sir. The main questions I have, and it could just be the way we're saying things or something, is I'm concerned about how much treatment he's had while he's been incarcerated, what he's going to have when he gets out as far as the support services for his addiction, and his questionnaire in attachment A that was filled out in April of this year talks about that he answered the question, I need treatment now. He disagrees. My temper may get me into a fight. He agreed with that, and told I have a problem with drugs, and on that one he said no. And I think it may just be the way he answered those questions from hearing him talk this morning. Mr. Williams, to cut to the chase, what do you have? Are you an addict now?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Do you? How much program substance abuse programming or classes have you had since you've been incarcerated?
I had like 4 classes that I took up with substance abuse. One at CC where I'm at, where I'm presently residing at, and 3 in DCI.
The reason I ask that is one of the very first things that are taught in any substance abuse class, to my understanding, is that once you're an addict, you're always an addict. And that you always have to consider the fact that you have a problem with your addiction, that you have to constantly be on the lookout for it. I mean, how do I get to the fact to where I trust you if you're saying you don't have an addiction and the training says that you've always got an addiction?
Well, you was right. Well, once you're an addict, you're always an addict. That's correct. I meant when I said no, I wasn't, that I'm not presently on any kind of substances. What's been helping me lately is like the treatments that I have had in the classes that I took. And I mean, what I want out of life is either I want to be a drug addict with nothing and a liability to my family, or do I want to be an asset? So I think that'll keep me pretty much in line. All this, will I ever do it again? And if I was to do it again, and if I was to get caught, life in prison, and I'd be away from my loved ones forever. So I mean, that's not an option for me. I have 5 grandkids. I have an elderly mother, and I have kids that depend on me solely. And not only have they been hurt, but it's been hurting me that I cannot be there for them during my time of incarceration. So, I mean, like I said, I made a lot of stupid decisions in my life, in my past. I'm almost 50 years old, I'm 48. And nobody knows how long we're gonna be here, how much time God got us, how long we're gonna be here on this earth. So every day I just wanna make a change and just strive for better. And that's what I've been doing. I mean, anywhere you go, you could use drugs. they got people get knocked off every day for using drugs, for failing urinalysis. And they test us on a regular basis. And I passed every last one of them. I believe a person is gonna do whatever they want to do. You know, like, and I found out where I was making my bad choices at in life. And that's what I've been working on during my time of incarceration. So, sir, that's not an option for me.
I don't have any other questions. I'm going to yield to my more experienced members on the panel to talk about some pathways forward.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Mr. Williams, I noticed that your record shows a loss of 60 days good time, but you have had some of that restored in February of this year. So that's a good indicator. What was that loss of good time for?
Possession of marijuana when I was in DCI.
And that was, let's see.
In 18?
In 18.
Yes, ma'am.
And what about the positive drug screen that was referenced by the DA in 19? Was that at DCI?
I never had a positive, never test positive for any drugs.
Okay.
You must have.
But you had the marijuana at DCI.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And so why haven't you had all of it restored?
I have no idea, ma'am. I mean, I haven't got.
I mean, it's up to you to ask for it. Obviously, you haven't. You hadn't asked for it. If you stay right up free, I think it's for a period of 2 years. You can begin to have that good time restored. FYI. I tell you what, I'd like to talk to Ms. Hendricks. Is she still in the room there with you?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on one second.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you're the transition specialist there at Caldwell? So we see on his Tiger score, some high need areas.
Mm-hmm.
And so can you tell us, in your opinion, has he taken the programs to address those needs?
He's taken all of the programs at Caldwell, and risk management, I believe he's taken anger management. I do think that he has addressed his needs with programming. And I also want to add that Caldwell Parish also has NA and AA meetings in this area where he is actually going to be residing. So Grace and Water has agreed to hire him. He's secured a local residence because he, like he said earlier, when he was coming up for parole last time, his game plan was to go back to New Orleans. But now he's realized that people, places, and changes, they have to change. So he's staying in Caldwell Parish, and he does have that avenue available to him as well. And I do want to make one note about the good time restoration form. There's been a delay in the processing of those. So, for example, they can send them to be submitted, and it may be 6-9 months before they see anything back, and then they'll get back 15 days, 30 days, that's so on. So.
Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that. We'll check on it on our end.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Williams, can you be more detailed about your transition plan? I like what she says, and I like what you said early on when we first got started, that you had time to reflect and realize New Orleans is not the place for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So
I've been working towards, like I said, like working hard. I take my job serious. I believe in, like, if you're not going to do it right the first time, don't do it at all. I never had work ethics at all, at no point in time in my life. And since I came, I'm gonna say right before I came, no, when I came here is when I started taking things a lot more serious about my work. And like I said, I'm just planning for a brighter future. That's it. And every move that I make from this day forward is gonna be for a brighter future.
Where's your family?
My family, I have kids out in Pineville. My mother, as you know, she's staying in New Orleans. And this way I'm closer to them.
Yeah, That's where the grandkids are, Pineville?
Pineville, yeah, in Mississippi. Pineville
Okay.
in Mississippi.
All right. Well, I want to congratulate you on the comments that the lieutenant made about you. We don't hear those kind of comments often. So obviously you're doing a good job for them. I don't have any other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I just have a couple questions. All right, you gonna stay at your same job, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long you been in work release?
Since January 16 to 24.
Okay, and have you saved any money in that time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you sent any money home?
No, I haven't sent any money home.
But you do, how much you have in your account? Tell me how much you have in your account.
I have, it's not that much. I don't get paid that much. I get paid $8 an hour. I only work 25 hours a week. And my checks be around $280.
Okay,
They take out 204, probation and parole take out 50. That leave me $26 for 2 weeks.
yes, I got you, I got you.
My next paycheck, I get paid $75 out of 200 because probation and parole don't take out that last paycheck. But I have a support system. Man, my family also. My mother, I have like $310 to be exact inside my TWP account.
Okay,
I have $40
that's
inside.
good. You've answered my question. I understand where you're coming from.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have no further questions. Is the panel ready to vote? Okay, Mr. Prater, you will go first.
Yes, sir. Well, I vote. I think that you've done a good job there, and I congratulate you for it. And I think that I think you're worthy of parole and us giving you a chance. I'm going to once again, because I'm fairly new at this, I'm going to leave it up to my co-panelists to put some restrictions on you as far as what they think would be appropriate on the AA and NA and any other kind of drug testing that they may, they would be in a better position to implement those things as suggestions.
All right, Mr. Williams, I do agree. I think you've earned this. I think this time you're ready. My vote also is to grant, and I would add to the Caldwell Parish Residence Plan. All right, don't go back to New Orleans. I mean, you can go visit, but you can't reside there. With special conditions, since there is availability, we know Ms. Hendricks has advised us, you go to 3 AA meetings a week, every week. And I also am impressed with the way you speak. I think you do a good job, and I'd like to see you do some community service work, say 4 hours a month. I want you to go talk to kids. You know, you make an impression with them. You can, connect through your church, or your parole officer can help you with making those connections. But you have a story to tell that might impact some young person's life. Good luck to you.
Thank you, man. God bless you.
My vote is also to grant, Mr. Williams. I think you've done things to correct, and you have great intellect. I agree with my colleagues. You gave a very good interview today. You explained yourself well. I think you do realize you're a drug addict. You just was saying you hadn't used since then, so you didn't consider yourself a drug addict. But so I agree to grant with 3 AA meetings a week. You must reside in Caldwell Parish. And I'm gonna add random drug screens by the probation officer, plus 4 hours community service to be served with at-risk youth or young people. Congratulations. Good luck to you.
Thanks. Thank you, Ms. Renata.
Thank you, staff at Caldwell. We will be signing out at 10:17.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Okay, ready to get started. We're now going to St. Mary's Parish. Time is 10:25. My name is Pete Freeman. I will be the acting chair. Along with me, we have Mr. Steve Prater and Ms. Cheryl Renatza. We will be your panel today. Is there any warden or staff in there with you, Mr. Fine? Okay, you're on mute.
Mute.
Okay, now, okay, who is with you?
Deputy,
Please,
Deputy
ma'am?
Johnson.
Deputy Johnson, let her
Yes.
speak. All right, Deputy Johnson, what's your job there at the institution?
Classification.
Right, are there any statements you wish to make on Mr. Fine? Have y'all had any problems with him lately? Any disciplinary?
No, sir, none.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Fine, state your name and DOC number, please.
I will find up 6637.
Okay, Mr. Fine, I'm gonna read some information into the record. Please, stop me if you think something I'm saying is not true, and we'll try to see if we can get to the bottom of it, okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fine, you are a fourth felony offender. You are parole date is to be determined by the board at the discretion of the board. You have a full term date of 9/26/29. You have a total sentence of 20 years and 6 months for distribution of cocaine, revocation of parole, and simple burglary. Is that all? Does that sound correct?
I only had 10 years left on parole.
Right, but your total sentence originally was 20 years, correct?
It was 40.
Well, we have a total sentence of 20 years and 6 months.
Man, she's 40.
Yeah, he originally got a 40-year sentence, but he paroled out. So the remainder, when he paroled, he still owed 20 years. But that was in 2009.
Okay, so if we're back, okay, we got that straightened out. Okay, Mr. Fine, tell me a little bit about what you did to get yourself into this situation, and tell me why we should consider letting you out today.
Well, at that time, I was a heavy equipment driver for the St. Mary Parish. I was driving heavy equipment, and I've been working for them about 3.5 years. I got hit by an 18-wheeler. I had Mr. Morris Balk for a lawyer, and when I settled my case out, I was disabled. They ruled that I was totally disabled because they burnt that third occipital nerve twice in my head. I got 3 plates in my neck. I lost my gallbladder. I had a broke rib, 3 broke ribs and a broke collarbone, and I got 3 discs messed up in my back. So I was on Loratel, Somers, Zambars, and OUACHITA. And when I made my settlement, for some reason they didn't wean me off of the medication, so I was still addicted to the narcotics. So what I was doing out there, I started going and get it off the black market. And I was just buying pills out there and thought I really needed it to survive off of because it was up in my system. And I brought a guy to go buy some tools, which I knew that he did inform me that he was buying some tools from a guy that was selling his boss man work tools. But I didn't think I was going to get this far deep in it because I didn't buy the tools. I didn't take no tools, but I did brought him to the house that was under construction. So I fell upon that.
Okay, and why should we consider letting you out today?
Well, I've been here 6 years, and I succumbed to diabetes. Diabetes attacked my vision, attacked my kidneys, and on top of that I got high blood. And my daughter been crying to me about my grandson. He's going on 17. He following the wrong crew out there, and I'm just trying to kill that generational curse that I brought up in my family by trying to save him from falling into the penal system or either losing his life in the streets. But I'm finished with the criminal history. I made 63 in here. I've been a sub-trustee for the past 3 years. I never had a disciplinary write-up since I've been here. And I sent you guys a total of 16 recommendations from here. So you can bet on me. I'm finished with the criminal history.
Okay.
And with the last 4 years or something I have, you can inform, if you grant me or parole, you can inform my parole officer wherever he needs me to go, to alternative school, public school, I'll be willing to go and speak to the youth.
Okay. All right. Ms. Renata, the case was assigned to you. Would you please ask any questions you have?
Yes. So, Mr. Fine, who is Howard Gabriel?
That's me. I'm Howard Gabriel.
I got confused because I see your name listed as Howard Fine, and then I see your name listed as Howard Fine Gabriel. What is your name?
What happened was when I first started going out to school in the 60s, my mom said, just tell him you were fine, because that was my daddy's name, my biological father. But then when I got married in 2008, I had to get my birth certificate. And when they showed my birth certificate, I was up in my mama's maiden name, which was Gabriel.
Okay, that explains it. So are you married now?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I think she said her name is Gabriel.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. So I heard what you said. You got addicted to pain pills. You had some kind of settlement because of the accident that you had. Did you spend, was there a monetary settlement? You got money?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a home.
You spent all that?
Yes, ma'am. I brought me a home. I brought my daughter a trailer, and I helped a few family members, and then I get my disability check.
So your simple burglary offense occurred in 2018.
That is correct.
But you were not sentenced until 2021.
That is correct.
You've been in jail all that time?
Since 2018, yes, ma'am.
And you entered a plea deal. You agreed to 7 years. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Ran into the parole time I had.
So I'm confused about your addiction and its relation to the simple burglary.
Well, the guy that I brought to go buy the tools, he had the pills that I was looking for, the Somers and the Loratab. So he paid me with that debt to bring him to go buy some tools. But I was already going out there to buy the pills in him.
I see. How many times you've been arrested in your life?
In my life?
Mm-hmm.
About maybe 7, 8 times.
How many?
About 7 or 8.
7 or 8?
Yeah.
Well, I counted at least 33.
33?
Yep.
So with my juvenile life history too?
Nope. No. I'm concerned. I hear what you say. You want to get back out to your kids and your grandkids and all that kind of stuff. But you were paroled out in 2009. We talked about that because you were serving a 40-year sentence for distribution of cocaine, which was before your accident in St. Mary.
That's right.
You have some opposition from the victims that you victimized. There's law enforcement opposition. You score out, based on your criminal history, moderate risk to reoffend in spite of your age. You are classified as a 4th felony offender. And so I'm really struggling with why we should give you the opportunity to get out early when you've had an opportunity already.
Well, I mean, like I said, that you can bet on me. I'm finished with the criminal history. That's the Scott honest truth. Finished with that.
What do you do there in St. Mary now? What do you do? Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Y'all don't have a job, so you just been sitting.
Oh, in here? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a trustee.
Well, what do you do?
I work in the laundry now. I was a kitchen
Okay.
cook, now I'm in the laundry.
Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Fine.
Yes.
Prater, you have any questions?
Yes, I'd just like to talk for just a second about how many people have you hurt and been charged with different crimes about hurting somebody? Violent offenses.
I don't think I have but one violent offense. Me and a guy got into it. One violent offense.
Okay, did you ever stab anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, that's all I have. I must be reading something that I will find it later then. Okay, that's all I had.
Okay. Have you received any treatment for your drugs?
Yes, sir.
What kind of treatment have you received?
Well, they was putting me on, I forgot the name of those pills. I stopped taking them about 2 years ago.
Okay. Do you take any classes with regards to drugs?
Classes?
Yeah, classes while you've been in there.
They didn't have no, class here.
Deputy, y'all don't offer any good time classes?
No, sir.
All right. And I saw one little thing in here, it mentioned forensic. Do you take any mental health, medication?
No, sir.
All right, I have no further questions.
Let me ask one more thing. Did you, I want to see if this is correct. When somebody had a car wreck, did you help the victim out of the car that was injured and then steal their wallet?
I helped them out the car, and I ended up taking the wallet.
Okay.
The car was on fire and I heard pull them out. And when I was pulling them out, their wallet fell out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you saved him.
Okay, any other questions from board members? Okay, seeing no other questions, is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Renata, you're first.
Yes, Mr. Fine, I enjoyed speaking with you, and I do appreciate I think you were very honest with us today. You know, you are. I still, as I expressed, I do have concerns about you based on all those reasons, the opposition, the moderate risk, and frankly, your criminal history and the fact that you were on parole before. My vote today is to deny your parole.
Concur with that, deny.
And I also concur with Ms. Renata. Hopefully maybe I'll suggest we send you to a facility with drug treatment. Any kind of classes with drugs. You need to have some classes before you get to the streets. So that's our vote today. Please reapply when you're eligible. We'll be closing out at 10:39.
When is I'm eligible again to apply?
We'll send you a letter to tell you.
That's it. Okay.
All right, hearing will be, the parole board will be called back to order. We're at, CATAHOULA Correctional. Time is 10:46. My name is Pete Freeman. I will be the acting chair today. Along with me is Mr. Steve Prater and Ms. Cheryl Renatza. Is there anybody in there with you?
Yes, sir.
What's your name, ma'am?
Lieutenant Kathy Townsend.
Townsend?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Townsend, is there anything you wish to say about the inmate? Anything, comments you wish to make? Any disciplinary problems, anything like that?
No, sir. No problems. No infractions on him. But he has taken life healing choices. He has done taken that. He is one of the 4 leaders in our faith dorm. And he accelerates in everything that he does. He's very cooperative in everything he's been asked to do.
Okay. All right. And y'all offer classes over there, I take it, right?
We do. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay. I'm gonna read some information in the record. Mr. Goth, please, state your name and DLC number for me, please.
Shane GOSE 579-618.
Okay, Mr. Ghost, you are a 4th felony offender. You didn't, your parole date is 8/9/24. Your good time date is 5/12/33, and your full term date is 8/10/33. You are serving a total of 12 years for possession of Buprenorphine, Buprenorphine, contraband, possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine, 2 counts, possession of methamphetamine, distribution of marijuana, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of methamphetamine. Does that sound correct to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, first thing we want, Mr. Ghost, I want you to tell me why we had all these drugs and what we was doing with them, and then tell me why should we consider letting you out today.
Okay. Well, I've basically made a series of bad choices in my life. I'm not going to try to make a light of that. COVID hit. I started getting a little careless, lost my job at the restaurant. And I started selling drugs, never had before in my life. And I just got caught up in the situation. And like I said, made a bunch of bad choices. But since then, I've come a long way. I've learned a lot. I've got no major write-ups. For 3 years, I've been walking the straight narrow. I've been learning a lot. I've taken every class I can get my hands on. I've learned to take orders and then learn to abide by rules. I'm trying to lead this class, that we're in. I'm really doing everything I can, and I've got a lot of information. As far as me getting parole, I definitely got a great family, support system. I got a great game plan, and I got a lot of people that are cheering for me. And I just know that I'm tired of losing. I'm almost 50 years old, and it's time to make some good choices. And I'm right there. I'm finally getting it. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, Mr. Goss. And what classes have you taken?
I've taken Risk Management 1, Life Healing Choices, Risk Management 2, it's part of the pre-release. And right now I'm basically just in the faith-based dorm where I'm a facilitator, a teacher, one of the 4. So I've done every class I can because I've been at parish jails. It's kind of hard. So
Right. I see you don't have many classes for someone. How long have you been in on this charge?
3 years, coming up on 3 years, my 25%.
25%. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever received any treatment, any inpatient treatment? Inpatient?
No, but that's on my game plan. First thing I'm doing if I get let out is going to Fontainebleau and doing some extensive inpatient and extensive outpatient. I'm nipping this in the butt finally. On my own, I feel it's a lot better if I pay for it personally, because that way I'm one of those things where if you told what to do, it's kind of hard, but I'll do any kind of treatment I can get, and I'm going to do more once I get out.
What kind of drugs did you use personally?
I smoked a lot of weed. And
Yeah.
of course, you see a lot of meth on there. That was mainly an income, but I did do it a little bit too. But not proud of it. But I'm just being honest.
Okay, and how old were you started using drugs?
18 years old. As soon as I graduated high school, I went off to college and started drinking and smoking weed.
And you've had some DWIs also, correct? So you
Yes, sir.
like drink and smoke weed.
Yeah. Drinking something that I did for a long time, and I just made some bad choices, and drinking was a major bad choice in my life. That's always been. I've been arrested quite a few times in my life, and not one time have I ever been sober. So I don't get arrested unless I'm drunk or high. So what tells me is that I got to stop being drunk and high. That's where I'm at now.
That is correct. That's for darn sure. I see you have 2 children. Do you have any contact with your children?
Yeah, I've sent letter after letter. They're kind of upset at me. I failed miserably by coming into prison, and I've been down quite a bit of time now. And that's the number one priority is become a better father. I'm now a grandfather, so I believe it's never too late. I'm gonna do everything I can to get back in their lives and stay in there. I'm just not gonna push it on them because I don't want to force myself on them. But that's my number one priority.
Okay. Do you have any detainers on you? Do you have a detainer from New York or not?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you ever have any crimes in New York?
Yeah, I had that was where my DUI was from, that last one, and and I have no warrants out of there or nothing. I shouldn't.
Okay. Who you gonna live with?
I'm gonna live with my brother who's here today. He's on
Okay,
the
yes.
screen as well.
He's gonna speak. I got him down to speak.
Okay.
And I see you had one write-up that was way back in 2017 for contraband. Life's Healing Choices. Did you ever finish Celebrate Recovery?
No, but I'm a facilitator in that group now. It's just one of those things. I mean, but I've taken every class. If you see my jacket, I've taken in living imbalances over and over, pre-release, parenting, anger man. I've done so many classes. But on this 3 years, it's been hard to get back in them because they keep saying I have too much time.
Those old classes are not counting towards your release.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. I was just saying that I've done them all, and I've tried to teach and tutor. I've done, but as far as this time, they kept saying I had too much time. 12 years, 12 years, 12 years. So it was hard to get in any classes. But once I got in, I got a couple of them done. I just finished Life's Healing Choices, and so I'm doing everything I can, and I will do anything I got to do. I definitely will.
Okay. I see you have a medium risk. I have no further questions. Do my colleagues have any questions?
I'll
wait.
ask.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
You want me to go ahead and go?
No, let me let Mr. Wayne talk first.
Okay.
Mr. Wayne Morgan, please tell us what you want to tell us about your brother, Mr. Morgan.
Yes, sir. I'm a retired federal investigator. In prior military, I served 23 years with the federal government, so I know law enforcement and the system. My brother has talked to me extensively about wanting to go out. He said something about getting into the Fontainebleau in program, doing some in programs. He's going to stay with me at my house, my own personal residence, until he can get on his feet. And I'm going to give him a bunch of resources to get involved into the community. But he's motivated. I mean, like he said, he's been arrested many times. I've never seen him this motivated. From what me and him discussed extensively, is that he's got a plan this time. He doesn't want to stay in jail his whole life. He's almost 50 years old. He's told me that he really misses his kids. He misses the opportunities of life. And he found God. That's why I'm assuming he's leading those classes. But he really, I don't know if I would have, believed him before, but this time around, after talking to him, I believe 100% that he is going to make a difference. And then the fact that I'm now retired and I have time to be with him and help guide him, as a former, law enforcement, I can almost guarantee you he's not going to do anything in my household, and he's going to do what he sets his mind to, and he's definitely got his mind set on that. So he is a good guy when he doesn't drink. Drinking has been the bane of his existence up to this point. So him getting treatment and wanting to get treatment, this is the very first time I've heard him say that. He's always pushed it off, but this time he asked me ahead of time to start doing research into Fontainebleau and finding out these programs. So he's trying to be preemptive instead of reactive.
All right, thank you for that. Are there any questions from fellow board members?
Curious, Shane, how come you arrested in Oregon and then arrested in New York? What's the traveling deal about?
I was kind of a rolling stone for a while. I was selling cars. I got some opportunity out in Buffalo. I went out there and I just, like I said, I've always ended up on the bottle. I'd go to work and I'd get off work and I'd want to go have a few drinks. And I just didn't have my priorities set. I was just kind of a rolling stone,
Okay, and how long have you been in jail this time?
3 years.
3 years, okay.
3 years.
Is that the longest you ever served in jail?
Yeah, it's right up there. As far as the straight time, yes, sir. I believe it's straight. The most straight I have, yeah. I might have had like 3 and about the same.
I don't have any other questions.
Can I say one more thing I forgot to say?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I got to honestly tell you, our biological father left when I was 2, when Shane was young. And then we had a stepfather come in, Mike Morgan. That's why I have a different last name than him. And he married our mom. My mom was 17 when I was born and 19 when Shane was born. And so I don't want to blame this because I turned out different. But I got to say, our stepfather actually went to jail for drinking. He's done Celebrate Recovery. He actually used to take near beer and fake beer and then dump it out and put regular beer in. And that was a role model that Shane had growing up. And so I don't want to blame anybody because we're all responsible for our choices. But Shane saw that from a young age. And I almost think that might be why Shane did what he did. But now Shane's an adult. And I think Shane now makes decisions on his own and he knows right from wrong. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Thank you for letting me speak.
Okay. Ms. Renata, do you have any questions?
I don't, thank you. I think y'all covered it.
Okay. I'd like to call for an executive session, please.
I'll second.
Sarah Renata,
Yes.
Pete Freeman,
Yes.
Steve Prater.
It's
Okay, we're going to go into executive session to discuss confidential matters. Time is 11 o'clock.
Okay, thank
Hmm.
Ma'am? Lieutenant Cat? They said they would take an executive break decision or something. So they're on break. Not break.
Okay, the board is back in session at 11:04. Would you call the roll?
Cheryl Renard,
Yes.
Steve Freeman,
Yes.
Steve Prater.
All right, Mr. Ghost, no, you hadn't done much time. 3 years is not a lot of time on 12-year sentence. But I'm gonna tell you, I believe you. I don't know why. I really believe your brother. I think he would be there to try to keep you on the straight and narrow. And, you know, I do believe that, the lady that spoke first, she spoke very highly of you. I have her name written down, Lieutenant Townsend. You know, she spoke very highly of you. But this is what I think, and this is gonna be my vote, and then we'll see what my colleagues think. My vote is to grant conditionally on you completing the Steve Hoyle program. We're gonna get you into it. We want you in our best program we have to offer. That way, if you fail again, we know we don't have nothing for you. If you don't succeed with Steve Hall, not gonna succeed. And if you don't quit drinking, you're not gonna succeed. And with the special conditions that you follow any recommendation that the Steve Hall treatment gives you, I'm sure they're gonna give you AA meetings to go to, which I think you know you need to go to AA meetings. I'm gonna put three down a week just to make sure in case Steve Hall don't put that on there. And last but not least, I'm gonna put you on a scram bracelet for only 6 months, okay? Because they do cost, but I'm gonna give you that for 6 months, and it's gonna say if you drink it all. If you bust that scram bracelet one time, my vote will be to revoke it. Okay? But good luck to you, sir. Let's see what my fellow members have to say. Ms. Renatza?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Ghost, I do have concerns about you. You keep talking about how long you've served, 3 years, and 3 years of a 12-year sentence is not that long.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, we see people with a lot that have done a lot more time. But I will say this, I appreciate hearing your brother say that he's pleased with your enthusiasm and that this is the first he's heard where you're asking for the help. And I think it's important that we get you that help. And the only way we can do that is if we grant your parole. So I agree with Mr. Freeman that I would vote to grant your parole upon completion of that long-term Steve Hoyle program, and that you live with your brother. That's the residence plan. And we're going to say for at least 6 months. You know, it may take you longer to get on your feet, but at least 6 months. And all the other conditions that Mr. Freeman mentioned. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Prater? Mr. Prater?
Yep, you're on mute still.
I am?
Okay, I am. No. Okay, I just wanted to say I agree with them on conditional granting of your parole with those stipulations that they've mentioned. And I want to appreciate your brother stepping up. He's a good brother. Don't disappoint him. And you got a lot going your way. Don't disappoint us either. Thank you.
I won't, guys. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir. Been granted conditional.
Thank you.
Okay, we're closing out at CATAHOULA.
On they select you, have you granted conditional?
Okay, yeah, still waiting? Yeah. All right, good deal. All right. What it is, when he went to EBR to VOC.
Okay, they're on.
Morning.
Limited as disciplinary, but explained that.
Talking in the background.
Okay.
Okay.
We got it.
All right. We'll be coming back to order at 11:24. We're at now Southwest Correctional. And we are here for Mason Calcote. How you say your last name? Calcote?
Okay, you pronounced it right, sir.
Okay, Mason Calcote. Would the staff there introduce yourself, please?
Cheryl Cook, administrative.
Okay. Today we're here with myself, Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair, along with Ms. Renatza and Mr. Prayer. Ma'am, what do you have to say about the subject? Has he had any disciplinary problems? What has he been doing?
No, sir. It's all good. We've got several here that would speak in for him. He's been helping work maintenance here, and we have the man he's worked with, Mr. Scholar. He's here, speak for him, and Warden Kaufman is here, Warden Smith. He's done very well, very good.
Okay, they didn't put down speak, did they? So, but we can allow 3 speakers, correct? Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Let me read some preliminary information into the record. Today we are here for a parole hearing on Mason Calcote. Mason is a first felony offender. Mason was sentenced to 10 years DOC, suspended, placed on 5 years probation. His probation was revoked, and he was serving a total of a 10-year sentence. His dates are, his parole date was 11/6/21, and his full term date is 7/7/28. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would like you to tell us, what happened. How did you commit the offense? What was going on? And then tell us why should we let you out today?
The crime I committed, slept with an underage girl. Met up with an underage girl and slept with her. That would be the crime I committed.
Did you know her?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, and well, tell us a little bit about what happened. I mean, y'all talking? How did this go on?
We met at a party, and I was not aware fully of her age, but I learned it. But I didn't. Being young, I wasn't, I guess you could say, wasn't worrying about the age difference. But now I've learned my actions had consequences, and I've learned that it was the wrong thing to think, sir. Because I hurt her, probably her parents, and it was something I regret doing every day. Every day I regret it.
All right. Okay. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. Mr. Prater, I'm gonna let you lead the question.
Okay, is anybody else gonna be speaking in the room?
Oh, that's right. We don't have any speakers down, but is there anyone there that wishes to speak?
You want to speak, Scott?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello,
Your
nice to
name,
meet you.
sir? State your
Scott
name and- Sir?
Skylar Broxton.
Broxton, okay. And what you do over there, Mr. Broxton?
I am maintenance supervisor.
Okay. All right, tell us what you want us to know about him.
Mason, he's a good hard worker. He's quick to learn. He can do just about everything from mechanic, welding, electrician. And I think that he had learned his actions and learned that his he can do better for himself. So
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else there that wishes to speak on his behalf?
Warden Smith.
Okay, Warden Smith.
Yes, I'm Warden Johnny Smith. Mason's been with us for a good while now. We look at his disciplinary record. We look at how he behaves in the prison, gets along with fellow inmates and with staff. And during his time, he's never had a disciplinary violation. And he's done everything we've asked him to do. Actually, he works weekends, nights, whenever he's called out. We've taken him under supervision to our other facilities to rebuild bathrooms, do certain jobs. So we know he has the vocational ability, the skills to make it in life. And from his behavior, we can't say that he would be a threat to anyone or the community. So we can't say anything bad against him, put it that way. He's done good while he's been with us.
Okay, thank you, Warden Smith. Anyone else?
I think that's it, sir.
I think that's it, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Prater. Let me
Yes,
ask
sir.
Warden Smith one question before he leaves. Warden Smith, we saw where he was sent to Baton Rouge for a week. What
Yes,
was
sir.
that about?
Our sister facility, East Baton Rouge Work Release Facility, had some horrible bathroom issues, and he redid the physical work there. He and I think we have three other inmates in our maintenance department went and rebuilt the bathroom of that.
Okay,
facility.
that's what we wanted to make sure it wasn't disciplinary. Okay, all right, Mr. Prater.
Okay, Mason, I won't spend a lot of time here, but you were 23 at the time,
Yes, sir.
and this girl was 13 at the time.
Yes, sir.
And you say you met her at a party.
Yes, sir.
What I was reading in the report was that y'all slept in the same bed together for 3 or 4 nights.
Yes, sir.
Is that the same incident we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what did meeting her at a party have to do with anything?
I met her and I started hanging out with her. I met her mom and we all got along. And I know her age I figured it out. And me and her mama got along, and she never had a problem with me at the time. But we ended up having problems.
You and the mom?
Yes, sir.
What did you have problems about?
I couldn't answer that one because I really don't understand how I ended up aggravating her or getting on her bad side. But my actions of, I guess, upsetting her, get arguments with her for over little things.
Okay, let's focus here, Mason. I don't understand what that has to do. The mother being aggravated with you about little things has to do with what we're talking about.
With sleeping with her, sleeping with her multiple times. Sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The multiple times of me sleeping with her, sir, was going to stay the night with her and hanging out with her and everybody, but aggravating her, her mom, to be honest, I aggravated her more than likely, I feel. I went into the bathroom, sir, and I found a pipe. Her parents smoked drugs. And I never smoked drugs, sir. Never done them. I don't condone it. I don't like it. This facility, they can tell you, I don't deal with drugs. And I said something to her mom, and I don't believe she liked what I had to say about it. Personally, I think that's how I made her mad, but
Because you made her mad, then she reported this? Is that what you're alleging?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but so far you're talking about the mom.
Yes, sir. I understand that. I'm talking about the mom, but with my charges of sleeping with an underage minor, I do regret that part. I shouldn't have allowed myself to feel like it is all right to sleep with an underage minor. I understand now that my actions at that time, sleeping with an underage minor, is something I should have never thought about doing, should have never done. And I regret it every day.
Now I'm not trying to try this case again, but I'm trying to see if you got the mental capability to know how wrong this was. Was she a willing participant in this?
Yes, sir, she was willing, but I understand what you're trying. If she was willing, but I should have been adult because of how old I was. I should have been let's just say at the time, I wish I could have been a better man and told myself, no, this is wrong. You do not even need to be speaking with her, much less what I did do.
How many times did y'all have sex?
Once.
And that was interrupted, right?
Yes, sir.
By who?
A young feller named I can't recall his name right now, sir.
Okay, let's move on. At the time, you already had a child, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how old was that mother?
$18, $19.
According to the report, you told the investigators or someone that the mother was 15.
The mother, her mother, my daughter's mother.
Right.
She was, yes, sir. She was 15 when her and I got together.
Okay.
She was.
So having sex with underage girls was not something new to you. And you thought that was okay?
Yes, sir. At the time, yes, sir.
And then you got you got a sweetheart deal of 10 years hard labor, and I don't understand this. The judge gave you, and it's not my place to question it, but he gave you 10 years hard labor, suspended, and gave you 5 years supervision, probation. And so you walked basically on that, and then you took off and went out of state and refused to, I mean, you didn't acknowledge that, you just took off. And that's why you're in jail now, is because you couldn't even abide by the rules for the 5 years of probation, correct?
Yes. That 5, I regret that also too. But I regret it, yes, sir. But at the time when I left, I couldn't find work around here. I couldn't make money for nothing. But that's not an excuse for what I did. And I was wrong for doing that too. And my actions of that is what got me back here. But I feel now that I could have done better. I could have came to Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, somewhere in the state. But when I had the job opportunity to go back to the power lines, which I know I've done it prior to being locked up the first time. When I had the opportunity to take the job, I did get with my probation officer. I asked her about it, and she allowed me to go. The first hitch. Came back, got a second permission slip to go back to work. And when I got back to work, they called the whole crew in to go on a storm call in South Carolina. And on my way, I was not thinking. At the time when we left out, didn't click in my head that I was about to be gone for 2 or 3 months, because the 2 hurricanes hit back to back on the East Coast in South Carolina and North Carolina. At the time when we left Texas, my pay started on time and a half, which is a lot of money at $36 an hour. Well, I let the knowledge, I guess you could say, the knowledge of knowing that I'm about to be making a lot of money and I won't have to worry about nothing, I let that cloud my judgment of I need to make sure I'm home to report.
Okay. All right. That kind of explains it. I don't have any other questions.
Ms. Renata, you have any questions?
I don't. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Calcoat, one thing I noticed is that you scored a 2 on your sex offender evaluation, which is on the low end. It high is 5, low is 1. You had I think it was a medium risk. No, low risk.
He's low,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Prater?
Yes, sir, Mason. I think after hearing you talk about this and this judgment problems that you have, and 2 underage girls, one you weren't charged with, and one your judgment kicks in after you've already done something, and that's not the way it can be. I don't know. I think you're doing real good right there, because they got rules and you got to abide by the rules. I think once you get out, you have a little problem with rules, and judgment is clouded. So for those reasons, I'm going to vote to deny your parole at this time.
Okay, Mr. Renata?
Yeah, Mason, I saw you in 2021, I think you came up for parole. And
Yes, ma'am.
at that time you were planning to go back to Texas. Is that still your plan?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. My grandfather, he's in bad health, and his
Where's
company,
he at?
he's in Athens, Texas, going through a lot of doctors stuff, and his company I was gonna go work for didn't work out. But
Where?
But the a company that comes here to this facility that checks the fire extinguishers, does all the checking on the fire alarms and all that. They offered me a job and down in Lake Charles, and they offered to help pay all my apartment, everything right here in Lake Charles.
Okay. So when I voted for you last time, it was that you go to the Texas plan because there was no sex offender treatment at that time. I think you were in Sabine.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think you were at Southwest yet. And I would do that again to the especially since you have a job offer in the vicinity where you're at, then you will be required to do some sex offender treatment on the street. You have a lot of challenges. If you were granted, I don't know that you will be, but my vote, I'm going to stick by my first vote to grant you to the Calcasieu Parish residence plan.
Yes, ma'am.
And that you abide by any requirements of the sex offender contract.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Calcoat, you do think a little bit late about things. Hopefully, if you learn one thing, you need to think ahead and plan ahead. I understand that was great money and you went work, and be honest with you, I'm kind of at least happy you absconded because you wanted to go make money and you went to work and not just try to run off. My vote today, I mean, like I said, you scored a 2 on the assessment. I'm gonna also agree with Ms. Renata, and I'm gonna vote to grant to the Lake Charles address. Now, how many votes does it take? Takes all of them. You've only received 2 out of 3 votes. Reapply again as soon as you can. I'm sorry, you needed all 3 votes to be granted. Good luck to you.
Right. I thought we only had to have 2 or 3. The last time I went up, they said I had to have at least 2.
I know.